So a lot of enthusiasts are hands-on with their system, and monitoring everything diligently is just one way to stay on top of your rig. Well, you can monitor your system to check thermals, fan RPMs, clock speeds, etc. One component that you usually don't get feedback from is your power supply. So today we're going to get a sneak peek at a PSU that tells you how it's doing. And oh, it makes a lot of light too. Welcome to Machines and More. So today we're getting a quick look at a pre-production power supply that Cooler Master is launching soon. And a big thanks to Cooler Master for letting us take an early sneak peek here. This here is the XG650 Plus. And other than being a Platinum Plus rated unit, it has a couple of neat features that some of you might be interested when it is released. First off, it features addressable RGB lighting. The unit lights up, and if you enjoy having RGB lighting in all regions of your build, then this would be great for adding yet another lighting source. Now, to accomplish that, you will have the ARGB cable connected to your motherboard or downstream from another ARGB device. The unit also has a USB cable that you will need to hook up to the motherboard in order to communicate with it. You can change the behavior in Cooler Master's Master Plus software. You can choose from any of the preset options, or you can just set the RGB software in your motherboard to sync it up with your other devices. This side panel also lights up, which brings us to the most prominent feature of this power supply. You can set it up to display vital information about the PSU, and in the Master Plus software, you can choose from fan speed, power consumption, unit temperature, or for the unit to just cycle through all that information continuously. It is interesting to get another layer of information on your system. Because I don't have a case that has a cutout that could show the information, I just set this one up temporarily outside the case just to get an idea and to show you guys how it works and looks. And it is kind of neat. Most of those power supply vitals would typically go unmonitored otherwise. It's not the most important information, however, and most users would, I would say, generally be fine not knowing how hot their power supply is. But I think that power consumption is a useful statistic, especially for someone optimizing something like a mining rig or playing around with undervolting a CPU or a GPU. I did a simple test. I just fired up Heaven 4.0 with the RTX 3080, and you can see that the system reports the close to 500 watt draw as expected. Now, that being said, when compared to my kilowatt meter, which measures power draw at the wall, the number reported by the PSU was generally higher by about 5% or so. And since it's measured on the DC side, it's over-reporting even more, since that's before accounting for the PSU losses. So I'd rely on it as just a rough estimate. Another thing I noticed was that the numbers weren't always easy to read. This 7-segment display on this pre-production unit has some bleed over, so sometimes zeros were hard to tell apart from 8s, and it seems slightly fuzzy, but again, pre-production sample, so that may already be getting worked out. Otherwise, really neat function. Aside from the lighting and the informational display, it is a Platinum Plus power supply, so it will have the higher quality capacitors inside. The 120mm or so fan is always on, which isn't a bad thing, as we've seen recently with some fanless models. And that's reported by the system display. It tends to run at about 400 and 500 RPM, so it's not obnoxious, unlike some of the SFX and ATX Cooler Master units with that semi-fanless mode. This one is fully modular, and another nice thing is that the PCIe power cable is 16 gauge. So I would actually be comfortable running just one cable and using the dual 8-pin connector directly to a higher powered card like a 3080 or a 6800 XT. Now this one is a 650 watt unit, so you may want to size up if you're running a card with that much power demand. And they are available in 650, 750, and 850 watt versions. At least that's what's planned currently. Now the market for this may be limited to those that have a case where this display can be visible, and even Cooler Master only has a limited number of cases where the shroud is cut out, such as the TD500, where there is no shroud. and the Q300 and Q500 cases. If your case is compatible, then I think this is a really neat addition. Certainly that fan's lighting won't be as visible on the bottom, but it should still cast a very interesting halo under the case. Since the Master Plus software is capable of monitoring other system vitals, I would love to see this eventually evolve into a full-blown display that can show other info such as your CPU or GPU temps. Now that really would be cool. Anyhow, pretty cool unit. I hope this one launches soon, and hey, if you enjoyed the content today, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I thank you for watching today.